Hello and welcome to The Telescope. Every week we'll bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market in the world. Today we get to drive the ONVO L90. First of all, I have to mention the surroundings. It's so stunning. And I rarely mention this, but we really are in a truly breathtaking place. The L90, as we speak right now, we're filming this on July the 14th. We already have a pre-order price of 279,000 RMB. That's a crazy price, so much so the NIO company stock jumped 7% right after the press conference. And that's with the 85 kilowatt hour battery. If you could live with a smaller battery, you can take another 25,000 RMB out of that. And there's supposedly a 5-seater version coming in Q4. I mean, that's a rabbit hole we will explore another time. In terms of value proposition, this car is quite extreme. And have I mentioned it's got a frunk like this? Voila! We are letting this car to park itself into the battery swap station. Now on range, it's quite interesting. Being a full-size SUV, this car has a relatively small battery. It's only 85 kilowatt hours. Normally, a car of this size, you will see battery sizes that's easily over 100 kilowatt hours. We've seen in the latest Range Rover, it's got 116 or 18 kilowatt hours. This is only 85. It can do that because of this, because of battery swap stations. So if you just look at this car's range number, which is 605 kilometers CLTC, and that's the rear-wheel drive version. The one we are driving, the four-wheel drive version, is only 550 kilometers CLTC. That is roughly 470, 480 kilometers WLTP, and even with the rear-wheel drive model, it's roughly 520 kilometers WLTP, which is not impressive, especially by 2025 standards. But this car benefits from NIO's nationwide battery swap network, so it can get away with only having a 85 kilowatt hour battery. 电池换好了，开出去请小心。 And with just that, we completed a battery swap. We are driving off-road. This is clearly unpaved roads and quite rare for a battery electric SUV. It can do this because it's got a good amount of ground clearance. I think the coil spring version has 200 mil. This, at the air spring version, because it can adjust its ride height, is standard ride height is 185 or something, and we are in a comfort mode at very low speed. It raises the body up quite a bit. Some of you might think battery electric SUV doing off-road is quite pointless. Well, not as pointless as you might think. Yes, we're never going to do a Dakar in this, but for this kind of weekend getaway trip, it's perfectly doable. There's a battery swap station just 30 kilometers away. And once we get out of this, we just go to the battery swap station. With a swap, you can go another 300 or 400 kilometers. Very easy. So battery electric SUV going off-road isn't as ridiculous as you might think. Driving on-road, one thing I will say, this steering wheel, the range of adjustment is not enough. This is already at its highest position. Actually, there's still quite a bit of a space between the top of the steering wheel and the bonnet, and this car having no instrument display, there's nothing to be blocked. So it should be another, quite a bit of room to go further up, and it doesn't go far back enough. For me, it's just about enough, but I know there are other people who will want their steering wheel to go even further, to be even closer than what is currently right now. This is not a problem on the ONVO L60. Quite a contrast, the ONVO 60 has a massive range of adjustment on the steering wheel, but this doesn't. Chassis setting is a bit of a surprise. This car's comfort mode is roughly on par with other NIO SUVs' sport mode, which is a very surprising direction. You know, having tried the 2025 spec NIO ES6, which has gone quite a bit softer than the previous generation. And this car being so massive in size, so practical, so family focused, I thought it could be uncompromisingly soft, just like the Li Auto L9, which in concept this car is quite close to. But no, this car, I wouldn't say it's sporty. You know, on this kind of test drive events, we always have to slightly overdrive the car to find out its limits faster. And on other NIO SUVs, I always have to set it in sport mode all the time. But on this, I actually prefer the comfort mode, which says something about this car's chassis setting. It's not that soft, which I'm very glad to see. I also hope this won't get changed in the midlife facelift to become softer than this, because I think currently this is bang on. This is the correct balance between comfort and sportiness. NIO actually gave us some hard numbers on the chassis setting of this car. In terms of the roll gradient, this is less than 5 degrees per G, which for a car of this size is quite respectable. The days of all Chinese cars has terrible, little to no body control. Those days are long gone. You are looking at a perfectly competent 3-row massive SUV. And I think part of the dynamics attributes of this car comes down to the lack of weight. This car's rear-wheel drive single motor version is only a bit over 2,200 kilos, which for a car of this size, a battery electric SUV, is at least about 300 kilos lighter than other cars of this size. And it translates to everything it does. It just feels, I wouldn't say light on its toes, but you don't get the sense that this car is about to fall over in the bend. And this car's battery pack, the 85 kilowatt hour version, is only 400 something kilos, which in terms of energy density is right up there, being one of the best among the industry. And that's a battery swap capable battery pack, which in terms of the enclosure and the structural integrity takes up more space to properly package a battery pack to be compatible with battery swap. Which, when you think about it, 2,200 kilos and 440 kilowatts of power, and quite a, I wouldn't say sporty chassis, but not a overly comfort biased chassis. I know it's a stupid idea to go track days on a 3-row SUV, but this car on track could be surprisingly fast. Actually, the ONVO L60 doesn't look like a track day car, but it's one of the fastest electric SUVs on track, purely because that car is only 1,811 kilos. I managed to get through the whole review without mentioning the Model Y, but here at a conclusion I must, because this car is on Model Y's price. Ridiculous, right? And the 5-seater L80 will be even cheaper. I just had an idea. I will line up all of the Tesla wannabes and all the cars I think on merits are better than Tesla Model Y in China, and have a direct comparison in every aspect, because the difference, not just this, all of the others we've reviewed on the Telescope, all of them coming up against the Model Y, I think the market eventually will come to its senses, and this, I think, will be the last year when Tesla Model Y dominates China's EV market. For this price, for Model Y's price, this car, the amount of space, feature, comfort, the battery swap is just unbelievable. Criticism? I know this car has a very big front. I'm sitting in it right now, but I also think as a result of this massive front and this massive opening, there could be a better balance between technical requirements and design. I still think this car's, the face of it has one or too many shut lines at the front. And secondly, the steering wheel doesn't go far enough. The adjustment range is not big enough. Thirdly, there's no physical control for the glove box, the sun blinder, and also the fridge. That's all I can think of. You can see I'm slightly nitpicking here. Some of you may know I used to work for this brand, and I'm still stay very closely attached to the company. Every time I attend a NIO event, it's like a mini reunion with my previous colleagues. I want NIO to do well, but I also want this brand to do well on merit, and not just because I love the brand. I think with this, NIO might just give itself the third chance it so desperately needs. The first one being the NIO ET5 and the second one being ONVO L60. For various reasons, maybe I'll go into that in a future video, those opportunities didn't materialize. But I think with this, it could be the third chance. The market rarely gives anyone a second chance, but I think with this, with some luck, NIO might just become the brand we always think it should be. That is all from the Telescope today. If you enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.